Hey guys, so we're over here at Platinum Off-Road, come to see Mike and Andrew. We are here to get the Jeep looked at. We broke some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what all we broke, but we've slowly been replacing some things, and we picked up a tie rod end to throw on the drag link. We're really hoping that this is the last piece of the puzzle.
Hopefully.
But Mike's about to jump in the Jeep, and he's going to take it for a drive, give it a little shakedown, see what he thinks, and we'll see if we can get that replaced and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see you guys again in a second.
65-70
on the highway, you can track pretty straight. And then as soon as you go to change lanes, like get over to the left, and whenever you go to straighten back up, it cuts to the right, and then it'll cut to the left, and then finally the traction control, the ABS will kick on, and you just pretty much got to let go of everything and come to stop.
I'm not gonna lie, it feels like a terrible caster setting.
Well, see, and that's what, whenever we put the control arms on, with the stock control arms on it, before K2, I didn't have any issues at all. I didn't have any squirreliness back and forth, nothing wrong with it.
You didn't bend any brackets on the frame? That you know of?
Control arm mount on this side looks like it might be a little jacked up, but I mean, whenever we went and put the control arms in it, they were both set to the exact same length.
Usually, when Andrew was describing they bolt slide right in, that's a fortunate event that happens.
Right. I mean,
most
I guess
of the time you don't.
We didn't measure axle to frame to see if the axle was shifted one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that is a possibility.
Hubs and everything. Did you check out hubs?
That's what one of the hubs was just replaced not long ago. The other one was fine. I mean, I don't think he checked it, but that was one of the other things I asked him if we, because I know, like I said, I know just enough to be dangerous. So for me, it's like, well, hell, I don't know, fuel tank's off kilter. Like, it's in the wrong spot, and now it's throwing the whole Jeep out of whack. So that's what I've just tried to look into absolutely everything I can. That's why I picked up the steering box. And then
there's the yaw pitch sensor, so your yaw sensor has to match with wheel speed, steering wheel angle, and all that stuff.
Right.
Is it usually higher than this?
No, not necessarily, and that's the thing that I was telling Andrew, is it's really hard to replicate it just by kind of going back and forth. It typically doesn't do it when I'm controlling the steering wheel. It's, like I said, when I go to make a lane change, it's like, it'll just, when I try to correct and go back straight, it's like, nope, I'm going to go too far. And then you got to correct the other way, and it'll just overcorrect until it finally just gets out of control.
So caster setting, it kind of just kind of does this however the hell it wants. But usually it'll do it pretty frequently.
Right.
And I'm talking like all the damn time. So if I personally don't feel it constantly, I would tie something to maybe a component, a mechanical issue.
Right.
So a sporadic incident, I would tie to a mechanical issue versus a setting. A setting is going to be something that's constant. We had a diesel that we were fixing for Southwest Kia up here, and it had a constant. That's how I knew something tied into the alignment. Sure enough, I said, you know what, let's break the theory on it because this Jeep has so much wheel offset. Let's pull some caster out of it because it's putting a lot of strain on the tie rod. So we did, sure enough, gone. So, one thing that we're going to look for is that constant factor versus a sporadic factor. And there's moments like back there, like when the Jeep kind of dips down, I kind of feel like it wants to, when it favors those road imperfections, a lot of times that's your caster setting. What gears are you running this?
It's just stock 373.
It seems a little sketchy when I'm doing the steering wheel. This is how I just kind of let the Jeep talk to us.
No, I understand.
Tell it what it's doing. I see a lot of clients when they first come out, let's go for a test drive, and I'm out here just driving like this, and they're just staring at my hands like I can do something else. Does wind affect it any?
Yeah, it feels too. And that's what so whenever we got the tow set, again, we had lots of fun issues with that. But we had adjusted the drag link to get the steering wheel straight the first time that we jacked with something, and it was fairly straight, a little bit to the left, but I mean just, you know, a degree or two off, not horrible. And then so whole way home, steering wheel's a little bit to the left, a little bit to the left, and then today on the way over here, I'm like, steering wheel seems to be off to the right. We didn't change drag link, we didn't adjust it, we didn't do anything. So why in the world am I having to have my steering wheel cocked to the right now as opposed to being cocked to the left? Which is where it was before. So I was like, I'm at a loss. I don't know.
What's your track bar situation? I didn't look at it when I was walking around.
Rock crawler adjustable track bar on the front, and it was just put on within the last couple of months. I mean, it was moved over because the housing that's in here now is not. Is a housing that just got put in a little over a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago now, I guess. Because that was the first thing that we noticed whenever we came back from K2 was basically looked like a 94 Civic. Like camber was ridiculous, and my upper C's were bent. And so
what in the world did you do?
We did everything wrong.
Well, that's why it's funny because you keep telling me, oh, this isn't so old, but you know, here's the thing. Up to the point that you went to K2, I don't really care how new it was because we had a fella take brand new everything down,
this is true.
and it looks, everything's got S curves in it now. I'm like,
so,
dude.
But it was fine on the drive, on the convoy down, on the way back, not. But of course, I mean, everything was pulled off whenever this new housing was, you know, was put in. So, or at least unbolted from the old housing and just left to hang while the new housing was put in place. But once the housing was put on and the camber, you know, the tires weren't just leaning in on themselves. It drove better, obviously, but then it still had all the squirreliness to it. And then that's what...
Even bad ball joints won't give you that. I've never experienced a ball joint situation to give you the darting on the road.
And that's what, and I had bad ball joints before, and you know,
you're gonna have that wobble, shimmy.
Exactly. A little bit of wobble, but nothing bad. The reason I noticed I had bad ball joints is just because of the wear on the tires. So had new ball joints put in the housing, and got new tires, all that kind of stuff, and all those problems went away. So, like Andrew said, there is a little bit of play in the top ball joints over on the driver's side, but it's not. It's almost negligible. Like you barely even notice it. There was a lot of play in the tie rod end, and that was why we were on the hunt to find a new one of those today. But yeah, I mean, once you look underneath it, you'll see it's gouged up, and the front control arm mount that was on or the lower control arm mount that was on the old housing, it was definitely like way off kilter. Like it was jacked up. Like I hit it on something hard. But obviously that's since gone, since the new housing's on there. But the back one, you can tell it hit as well, and it's gouged. But I don't know what it should look like. So it's hard for me to say that it's a big change from what it was before. You see how that mount is over there? That's the one that I was saying got beat up.
Oh yeah.
Side over there.
I got you. All right. Let's get the floor jack. And the floor jack's still here. Here we go. Andrew, you want to tell them what happens if they leak on my shop floor?
Oh, dude, he freaks out. He's like the biggest OCD girl I've ever met in my life.
Look, you walk in here.
Dude, I'll be underneath the Jeep, like, legitimately doing something, right? And I'll be in the middle of doing it, and Mike's like, God, and he's, like, looking for rags, and he gets brake cleaner and cleans it up. I'm like...
Look, if a client walks in and says, oh, this is how he takes care of his facility, how is he going to take care of my vehicle?
True. That's true.
Hey, do we not clean up every time you go to leave, Josh?
Yeah.
Josh, you want to give a little bit of love on that floor jack?
Yeah.
A few moments later.
Andrew, you missed a spot.
I missed a spot.
Oh, get it before he notices.
See if we're going to go the right way. There we go. Alright. Damn, Andrew. There we go. You did give some love on this sucker. There we go. Alright.
So what are you doing, Mike? Tell the folks at home.
I'm going to add some caster to it. You're sitting around a little over 6 degrees right now, but it still has a little bit of road wander. So we're going to kick it up. There we go. Right. You have these exactly the same, Andrew?
Yeah, they're the exact same.
I'm going to do 2 full turns. Andrew, you got dead blow?
Yeah.
Some more K2 rockets up in here?
Yeah, we really did a number on the underside of this
Yeah,
thing.
it looked pretty clean before we went.
Or you didn't blow a shaft or something?
What do you want, sludge or rubber?
Just dead blow rubber.
Yeah, after K2, we definitely were wanting to get some
And then you know where my centering punch,
body armor
is
under
in my
this
drawer?
thing.
Which one? Plates,
The one that's open, go one up, should be a bunch of centering punches.
You just want a middle-sized one?
Yeah, it's cool. Thank you, sir. All right, you want to let just a hair out of that?
Yeah. Another hair?
There we go. Okay. All right, so let me get the other side. I hope to God we can. Oh yeah. 7.5 over here.
Oop, I'm gonna trip over some stuff.
This isn't all laser perfection, but oh no. Good deal. Yeah, we're floating about 7, a little over 7, like 7.1, 7.2. Yeah. When we were coming down this road, it was sketchy as hell.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I was not going this fast before. I was losing it.
Yeah, it seems like the steering feels like it's tighter.
Yeah, you got more resistance in the line.
Yeah, it still has a little bit, but nothing nearly like it was.
Yeah.
It's most definitely not all over the place like it was before.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of playing around. On the max side, I would maybe look at your drive shaft and see if you can go another turn out But I think before going to that far, I would do a drag link in swap just to kind of make sure all your stability is back in the system.
Right.
But that's what you're going to do to tame that road manner. Just play with that caster on it.
The gray thing.
And
And then
it's the drag link.
Yeah, this is the drag link. This is the steering knuckle. This is the tie rod end that goes into the knuckle.
So that's the thing that we had to find today?
Yes.
Okay.
But I had to be the smart guy and make the decision to put the flip kit on it just because I was told it would help.
Yeah.
And had to drill out the knuckle. And then you can't just say, oh, well, I'm just going to throw a stock drag link back on it.
Yeah.
Once again, it's all your fault. Because it was October of last year.
flip kits, they're good.
It was October of last year when we put this on.
lift,
No,
maybe a little premature.
Well, see, we were at 4.
Okay,
Not much better,
4 plus,
but-
we start talking flips. But,
And that was exactly why we did it, because it had the 4-inch rough country on it.
ooh, that rough country, bro.
Yeah. And then once we took those springs off and put the rock crawler 3.5 on, I was like, well, it's already on there. What's that they say? You can never go home again? Or something like that?
Once you go rough
Go
country,
big
you
or
can't
Yeah,
go.
once you go rough country, you go with something else.
Yeah, that's exactly what their terminology is. That's what their slogan really needs to be. If you go rough country, you appreciate anything else. Exactly.
Rough country.
There you go.
It's almost suspension? Question mark?
Does this give you a taper sleeve, or is this?
It has.
I believe it had.
It has a sleeve in it now.
It's a 7/8 hole, isn't it? On
Yeah.
this? I remember last time I done a synergy was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun drilling that knuckle out.
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
they're
not
great.
having really anything I needed to be able to do it. And
So
go,
there's
hey, I need to go buy tools, and I need. That's a big hole I'm going to drill. I think the largest drill bit I have is like a 5/16 or something, because I'm not going around drilling 7/8 holes in the house.
Yeah, I did one, and so a buddy of mine runs this group of Texas Jeep Adventures, and we were in his driveway doing this kit, and he kind of documents everything too, and we were sitting there doing it, and I'm like, dude, you need to get a 7/8 drill bit. And this was like at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh,
It was
God.
open. That was maybe right before, because I remember we ran to Lowe's or Home Depot and used a step bit, a
That's what
Milwaukee
I-
step bit.
That's what I had to use. That was the only thing I could get.
Boy, it was smoking so hot.
Oh yeah, it was bad. I was sitting there drilling it. Meanwhile, my brother-in-law is sitting there with an oil can, like pumping oil onto it.
Ooh, that's a little hot.
Is the taper stuck on the?
Yeah, of course.
Everything's stuck. Need me to hold that up. Oh, never mind. That popped off easy enough. I was gonna hold it up while you beat on it. You have the new one over there?
On the box.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere over there or on the bench, something.
Is it still in the bag?
No, it's all out. It's on the.
Am I just blind?
What happens? What are you looking for?
Feel a little bit like probably how Brittany and Kevin felt when they were having their heavy swaps and just hanging out in the garage.
Oh. Like I said, I don't know how horribly bad the other one was. I know it felt super gritty and a little loose, but
It's all nice and shiny, Captain. Won't be for long, but it is now.
looking good. Double check.
Good enough.
Mjolnir looks a little bit like Nemo.
What?
I said Mjolnir looks a little bit like Nemo right now.
With the baby fin? With the Cassandra hand?
Yeah.
Now the all-important part.
Alright,
You have to be lubed.
Is it not on the shelf?
You have to have
Where you
lube.
put it last time?
You gotta lube it up. Get it nice and lubed. Gets kind of sticky.
Wheel machine. Should be on the one by the
That's
trash
when it's
can.
fun. Hey guys, here we are all finished up. Mike and Andrew over here,
Hey guys.
dripping all over the ground. Here's Mike, he's the man. You guys saw him in the video earlier. So what Mike did, he went in, like you saw, changed up the caster, added a little bit. I think we're sitting, you said what, 7.5-ish?
Right 771.
Right, 771. Put on a new tie rod in for the drag link. It was kind of janky. I got that fixed up. Tightened up some bolts here and there. Had a few squeaks and rattles, noises. Took it for a drive. It drives way better now. We're not all over the road. I don't feel like we're going to die going down to Big Bend now.
Yeah.
So that video will be coming up soon. Andrew better be there. Andrew needs to be there.
We're working on it.
I know. You're working on Steven's Jeep right now. We don't know if he's going to be making it down there or not, but go on and check out Mike's channel, Platinum Off-Road, same as the name of the shop. He does instructional videos, kind of breaks things down, shows you how things can be done a little bit easier than the instructions that you get that come in a bunch of the stuff. Kind of hard to read, shows you a really weird black and white picture that you can't really tell what it's pointing at, and says take this thing and put it here and then do the thing to it, and then stuff will maybe work. Well, Mike goes on and he does videos and he really breaks it down and shows you the best way to get things done. Real good instruction for making it easier for you to be able to do your own mods. So yeah, definitely go on and check him out. We will link it down below. You guys can check it out. But as for now, we're out of here. Bye.
Like and subscribe.